Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. So here today we are going to solve this equation. So what are we going to do? So the first thing is to split this. So this, according to the rules of indices, if they are dividing the rules of logs, it means to say they are going to subtract each other like this. So we are going to have, this is the same as the log base 8, then it will be x. Now since 2 is dividing, it will be minus the log of 8 over 2, like that should be equal to, we have the log of 8 and like that over the log of base 8 of 2. So that means to say, immediately you do this. As you can see, this one and this one are the same. So this one and this one are the same. This one and this one are the same. Therefore, you can let them be equal to a common letter. So you're going to say let your a be equal to the log of 8 x base 8 and b be equal to the log of we have 8 over 2 base 8, like that. So with that said, we are going to replace these values. So where you see that, you're going to say a minus, we have our b should be equal to, this makes our problem to be more simple. So we are going to have the log of, so where there is the log of 8 of x, it's a over, this one is b, like that. So with that said, from here we're going to cross multiply. So b multiplies everything, so it will be b open brackets a minus b, like that, should be equal to a, like that. Opening the brackets, we are going to have a times b, it will be ab, b times negative b, it will be negative b squared, should be equal to, we have our a, like that. From here, what we are going to do is, since this b is squared, let's take it here. So it will be ab, then the a will come this side, ab minus our a should be equal to, we are going to have our b squared, like that. Then we are going to have our a is common here, so we are going to factorize it. So we have a is common, then we are going to have our b minus 1 should be equal to b squared. When you reach this stage, when you have simplified it like this, you can now replace. So you can now replace. So what do we have? So we have the log of this value, the true number here. So we are going to say our a, let me just bring it closer. So we are going to have the a, it will be the log of 8 of x, like that. This is multiplying b, which is the log of base 8 of 2 minus 1 should be equal to, where there is this, we are going to have the log of 8 of base 2, like that. So this is what we have. So this is squared, like that. So as you can see, the reason why we left b minus 1 was okay, because b is can be expressed as a pure number, because it is made up of numbers. We have 8 and 2, in which case even here 8 and 2, so that means to say this and this can be subtracted. So that is better, it makes the equation to be simple. So we have the log of 8 of x, then we have, so now here we just have to be smart. 2, you know, to say 2 is equal to the cube roots of 8 is equal to 2. So that means to say 2 is equal to 8 to the power 1 over 3. So cube root is the same as 1 over 3. So we can say that another bracket, it will be log of 8 to the power 1 over 3 minus 1, like that. So the reason we have introduced 8 is, if we have the same base, we can easily cancel it. So we have should be equal to, we have, even here it will be the log of 8 to the power 1 over 3. Then we are going to put our square there. So what we are going to have is what we are going to have is log of our 8 like that. Then we have this 1/3 comes here, we are going to have 1/3. The log of 8 base 8 minus 1 like that should be equal to, we have the same thing here, should be equal to, we have the 1/3, then we have the log of 8 base 8 like that, then we have a squared there. So what we are going to have as our value there will be equal to, we have the log of our 8, our x base 8, then we have this. If you have the log of the same base, this is equal to 1. As long as this and this are the same, it means it is equal to 1. So we are going to have 1/3, then we have times 1 minus this 1, then this should be equal to, so same here, it will be equal to 1/3, because this times this is 1. So we have this, then we have squared like that. So from there, what we are going to have is we have the log of that, then times, we have 1/3. So we can take, so we can even forget about 1, it doesn't change anything in that case. So we have 1/3 minus 1, it will be 3 is the common denominator. So we have 3 divided by 3 is 1 times 1, that's 1, minus 3 divided by 1 is 3 times 1 is -3 like that. Then we have should be equal to 1/3 squared is 1/9 like that. So we are going to get our log of 8 like that. 1 minus 2 is -2/3, should be equal to 1/9 like that. With that said, what we are going now to get is, we know to say, let's just get rid of this so that this whole thing can be left alone. So we can do this. So we have times there. Let's move this a bit. Should be equal to 1/9. So we can multiply the multiplicative inverse, which is a 3/-2 times a 3/-2. So this and this cancels, this and this cancels. So we are going to have the log of x base 8 should be equal to this times this cancels, this, we are going to have 3. So we have negative, we can just throw the negative up, -1/6 like that. Then what we are going to have is, we are going to say this goes there, so it will become the base, so it will be x is equal to 8 to the power -1/6 like that. So this is x is equal to, we are going to have x in terms of 2 is the same as 2 to the power of 3 like that, to the power -1/6 like that. So x is equal to 2 to the power of this and this, we are going to have -3/6, which will give us x is equal to 2 to the power negative, this and this cancels, so we are going to have 2 there, 1 like that. So x is the same as 1/, we have a 2 to the power of 1/2, which will give us x is equal to 1 the square root of our 2 like that. So this is our answer for that problem. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you would like, subscribe and share for more. Do not forget to subscribe so that you do not miss any amazing content like this. See you in the next tutorial.